They never even got a chance to see that play. He said he drunk him hot.
There we go. So let's get it.
What up, what up, what up? You already know it's Law P Life of the Party, baby. Portia Madrid. Got it again, kicking it with my boy.
Steve Lou. What it do?
And we got our girl, Meg the host, baby.
What up, Meg?
Meg the host. Ow.
Her mic is on mute.
My bad. Technical difficulties. What's up,
It's
y'all?
all good, Meg the host.
What up, Meg?
That's your first time using StreamYard for real, like tonight.
Yeah, this is our first time, though. But what's happening, Megan?
And we do have a special guest as well.
Tell them your name, sir.
Dain Butler.
Oh, not your full government. I love it. We do have some sponsors for the evening. The Gatherers Group, LLC, Willie D Spirits, Black owned and operated. I do feel sorry for you all that's not enjoying this delicious rosé and Merlot that we are sipping on. Merlot is what I like to say when I get a little tipsy. Not real hood. We got Sticky Fingernails, PM Media and Marketing, Love is Black, Savage Life Radio, and Jazzed Hair. So shout out to them. If you would like to become a sponsor, please do not hesitate to hit up Loft P100 on your local social media platform.
What it do? What we got going on?
Who, baby? So you know that the MLB is being sued. Mm-hmm. Meg, I know you know, girl.
Yeah, a lot of business owners here in Georgia are upset that the MLB decided to move the All-Star game after Governor Kemp signed that voter suppression bill. And, you know, it's one of those things of, you know, the MLB is a private entity. Mm-hmm. If they don't want to host their All-Star game in a city, if they want to change their mind, then they're totally within their rights to do that. And as far as the business owners that are upset, they are suing, claiming that they have lost $100 million in potential profit.
Okay, business owners with your 100 million lost, stop the madness.
Right, because there's no guarantee, first of all, that that's what you guys would have made. And even if they did spend money in preparation for the All-Star game, that's their business, you know.
Right.
The MLB is not responsible for that. And so, you know, at the end of the day, they should really be upset with Georgia lawmakers and with Governor Brian Kemp for even, you know, having this bill on the table. So ultimately, I think that it was really strong for the MLB to stand up against voter suppression in this case, and keep it moving to a city who is not suppressing the vote.
Right. I mean, surprisingly, it looks like they chose principles over money.
Yeah. Yeah. Which we don't see too often.
I don't think they picked a new destination yet, have they?
Not yet. Not yet.
But to be fair and play devil's advocate, you know I love to do that. Yes, I love it.
Devil in a purple dress.
Well, devil reform. I'm not a devil no more. Anyway, what if they did have some type of contract or some type of verbal agreement? Because how could you sue somebody if you don't have any type of stake in the claim? You get what I'm saying? They're business owners. They know they're not just going to come up with some fraudulent claim and spend their money getting a lawyer to make a suit if there isn't any type of, you know, something valid.
Well, let me tell you, Porsche, people do that type of stuff all the time. Look at Donald Trump suing states claiming, you know, voter fraud when there absolutely was no proof or probable cause for him to even do that. And he still, you know, money to do it. So if you got money, you can sue anybody, whether you have, you know, grounds to stand on or not. You know, you can sue whoever you want.
Yeah, you might as well just try, right?
Yeah, and I think that's where they're coming from, more so of like just trying to make a statement, if you will, more so than I really do not think that they will win anything. And honestly, at the end of the day, the MLB made the right call. And I don't understand why these business leaders aren't having any sort of conversation with Georgia's lawmakers about this.
Dain, what do you think? Are you an MLB fan?
I don't even watch sports.
Oh,
I really like. Um, I don't know if it's something I need to be concerned about. Like, but
ah, I really appreciate your honesty. It's refreshing.
yeah, I mean, it's like I don't
If
watch
I
sports.
can pour you a glass of Willie B. Gatherers Group, I would.
He was
Yeah,
actually supposed to be here, but due to business obligations, he wasn't able to come physically in the studio. So we doing it like this.
I mean, even though if on a small level you feel like it doesn't affect you, but if you do live in Atlanta, for anybody, this is home of the cap, home of the jug, home of the hustle. So when any major event is going on, it trickles down even to the petty nickel dime seller that's at the Greyhound across the street from Magic City. So I mean, I mean, how do I know that? The wings at Magic City are delightful, I've heard.
Right, but I mean, I think what we learned in the pandemic is, capitalism is a real thing. You know what I'm saying? So it's all on where you fall on the side of capitalism. Like,
Mm.
you know what I'm saying? Like, it's everything about money to you. You know what I'm saying? It's everything about a dollar. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it is, sometimes it ain't.
Right. It's a lot going on with like weed legalization. Virginia is supposed to legalize weed up to an ounce in July. And now they're, boo-hooing over the canine unit that they're going to have to let go because of the weed legalization. And I'm like, when you say let go, do you mean they're not going to be, employed by you? I'm like, these are dogs. Like, what are we talking about here?
Right.
I think they'll just retire and get adopted by some of the officers,
Which
whoever.
would be great. I'm sure some
Yeah.
families would love to have an ex-police dog in their home.
Yeah, I mean, hey, and then shit, I'll be happy to see less people getting locked up.
Right.
Especially less black people.
Exactly. And you know what? Even we could take it a step further. Why don't we give these dogs to foster homes or trouble homes to keep the kids from, oh, the dog come, you came home from school. What you got going on, little Billy? Something ain't right.
You a trip. I think that's a little extreme. But
Right.
the K9 units were not very effective anyway in detecting drugs
never
in
mind.
general across the board. So I think it's about time we retire the K9 unit.
Yeah, because I seen people get pulled over, and the dogs were just extra. You know what I'm
Hell,
saying?
I done got my weed through the airport, and you know what? It make you walk 2 by 2, and I go through with fear and trembling. But baby, I makes it through every time. So I'll be like,
You
damn
might
it,
not want to
dog.
let that be known.
I mean, I only fly with a blunt or two. Now I'm not moving major dope or nothing.
Okay.
I'm just trying to elevate my mind. That's it.
I got you. But yeah, I mean,
Not distributing, okay?
anything that lessens mass incarceration, I'm all for it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So New York, Wayne Yang,
Andrew Yang.
yes, he would like to legalize pot, mushrooms, MDMA for the use of military veterans who have PTSD and other traumas.
Let's ask our guest first. What does he think about it? What do you think about that, Dana, sir?
What was the question again, brother?
So I don't know. Is he the governor or is he the mayor of New York?
He's running for mayor of New
running.
York. He's
Okay.
a former presidential candidate, Andrew Yang. Do you remember, back in the 2020 election?
He ran for president.
Yes, he's a former presidential candidate.
So
Right.
this is part of his platform in New
Oh
York.
no, he's running for governor. He's running. Wait, is he running? He's running for mayor or governor. I'm getting
Either
him.
mayor or governor.
And he would like to legalize pot, mushrooms, MDMA for military veterans to get over PTSD.
I'm familiar with Andrew Yang because he ran for this last presidential election. He dropped out pretty early though.
Okay.
I was up on his policies and things that he was trying. He seemed pretty dope to me in reference to legalizing certain drugs to to cope with PTSD. I don't think I know enough to comment on that. I hadn't tried all the drugs that he about to legalize.
Ah,
I'm not
dead.
that that's the right antidote for what the situation is. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
That does make sense.
I mean, I've heard the opinion, and I'm not that much against it, of just legalizing all drugs. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, hey, alcohol is legal. You don't know how people function with, you know what I'm saying? Like any drug that helps somebody function. That, first of all, drugs were brought to the country by who? The government.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The people that originated from
The people who,
so
the people who actually lock you up are the people who provided those things. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? Like, stop locking people up for drugs.
Right. And I think Steve, you know, it might be a matter of semantics, but when I think instead of using legalize all drugs, maybe it's decriminalize all drugs. So
right. That's a better way to phrase it.
Right. I like that one, because I mean, so it could begin to get a little extreme. MDMA and mushrooms and
let's be clear now. There are, I think Oregon just decriminalized all drugs, and there's a country in South America. I cannot remember if it's Uruguay or somewhere. It's somewhere in South America where they have decriminalized all drugs, and they've seen a sharp decline in the number of deaths of drug overdoses and people that are partaking in drugs. But in either case, for Andrew Young, keeping on topic with Andrew Yang, he wants to legalize those, or decriminalize or legalize those drugs for PTSD in a clinical setting. So we're gonna just let, you know, the Army vets and military vets just go out and go crazy on the drugs. No, he wants to do it in a clinical setting under, you know, supervision of a medical professional. So let's keep that in mind. And you know, honestly, there have been, you know, quite a few studies done on mushrooms, hallucinogenics in particular, and some psychoactive drugs that, you know, have shown some promise in treating mental illnesses like schizophrenia and post-traumatic stress disorder, anxiety, things like that. So, I mean, you know, hey, give it a shot. But this is what I say to Andrew Yang is that, don't just make it be for veterans. Allow it to be for everybody who is suffering.
Right. And I know, because I'm sorry, I know functional drug users, you know what I'm saying, who are functional other than marijuana. It's people that smoke marijuana that are, you know, that do crazy shit. People that smoke crack that do crazy shit. People that drink that do crazy shit. So, you know, it's a little bit of everything. So,
yeah, let's just make it legal to everyone, so everyone can be high and drunk and strung out.
No, it's not about that.
No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing.
I mean, some people don't need to get locked up. Some people can just go to rehab.
Right.
You know
now, I do appreciate that, because I feel like sometimes I need to go to rehab.
Exactly.
I'll be looking for my next blunt. I mean, it's a problem. Let's get
to that's where decriminalization comes in.
Right. Just give me some help, please.
Dain? And it's a disease. Addiction is a disease at the end of the day. Like, we're not going to lock people up for having cancer. You know, like, addiction is a disease. So, and, you know, it's one of those things. I think we just have to evolve as a people and as a society to come to a place of understanding around addiction, because a lot of the stigma around people who have addictions, or who even people who have mental illnesses, there is a certain negative stigma about that. So, you know, not saying that they're the same, the cancer thing, you know, not saying they're the same thing, but I'm just saying addiction is a disease.
No, you're right. So, Dain, we play a little game here called What Had Happened Was. And basically, we're going to say a person, place, or thing. You're going to respond with what had happened was, and then you tell us as much as you can about that person, place, or thing. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So the first one is Funtime Moonwalk.
What had happened was,
I love it.
My youngest child, no, my oldest, who is 24 now, was 9, and I rented her some equipment at East Lake Park. And at the time, the job that I had, it didn't pay a lot of money, and this guy came out. He was there maybe 15 minutes, and he left with half my check.
Oh,
And
wow.
what had happened was I came up with a pillar. I, I made some real decisions, and I said, you know what, like this 9 to 5 thing is real cute, but it's not getting me where I need to go. So 14 years ago, I started Funtime Moonwalk Rooms. I used my financial aid check. I was going to Atlanta Technical College. I used my financial aid check. About 2 moonwalks. Those 2 moonwalks turned into 4. So now we're at like maybe 18.
Wow.
That's what's up.
The trap is banking.
Oh,
That's
I love
what's
it.
Okay,
Come on,
entrepreneur,
refund check coming through.
Right.
Refund check.
Moonwalk.
I wish I would have done something like that in school.
It's not too late.
What you got, Megan? What's the next one?
So the next one is stand-up comedy.
Oh,
What had happened was with
what
that.
had happened was I went to school with Kiana Dancy, who is a she's
We know Kiana.
We interviewed her.
Yeah.
okay, so Kiana was like in junior high and high school. This was like my best friend. Like no sexual interaction, but I used to spend the night at her house. This was my partner. So I used to go to the club all the time and just like watch her out. And then we started drinking one night. I'm like, you ain't funny. She was just like, well, why don't you go up? And I was like, I go up. And then her big head ass went up on stage and introduced me. And when I went up, I was just like, I could do this. And I did it. And they laughed. So I just kept going back. And that's what had happened.
Wow.
Okay, the next one we got is alto.
Oh, God. What had happened was I was 19 and that's a long one right there. How long was it?
Go ahead.
What had happened?
The short version. We'll get into the longer version later.
Okay, so the short version is that at the age of 19, I thought I was smarter than everybody, and I thought that I could find a way to accumulate large quantities of cash. And unfortunately, DeKalb County and the Federal Bureau of Investigation have paid people that can alter those ideas, and they alter it on. And I ended up sitting down for a large portion of my life, but it allowed me to think clearly when it came to certain things.
I never heard anybody put it like that.
He said, unfortunately, DeKalb County.
What you got for us?
South Carolina, come on and stand up.
South Carolina.
In South Carolina or North Carolina?
What do you mean?
That's what had happened was.
Oh, South Carolina. Oh, I have a contract with Lowe's, and we've got two trucks in Mississippi, one in Asheville, North Carolina. I'm in South Carolina right now, training some people so they can get the job done. Just trying to make sure they don't steal stuff, they don't break nothing, and that we can get more contracts. But I'm working 7 days a week. It's not bad because I know what my ultimate goal is. I just purchased 10 acres of land in Thompson, Georgia, so I'm gonna build me a house.
Oh, yes.
With a
Come on,
pool,
Lamb.
Right. Inspirational.
But I just got to put the work in right now. It eventually will be a well-oiled machine where I can work from the house. But right now, it's requiring that I get my hands dirty and I get out here and make some stuff happen. But it's going in the right direction.
You mentioned trucks. Is that what you're doing? Like hauling supplies or?
So what we do is we go to Lowe's at maybe 6 o'clock in the morning. We get about 18 stops, and what we're doing is when you purchase something from Lowe's, we deliver and install those appliances. So what the difference between a person who works for Lowe's and a person who has a contract? A person who works for Lowe's they get paid by the hour and they can dig off if that's what they like to do. But we have contracts with them, so if we break it, we buy it. It doesn't matter how long we stay out there. Our goal is to get the job done. So as Lowe's, what they did, they fired a large percentage of they fired in southern eastern United States. They fired all of their delivery guys. So we just came along and swooped
since
up
the pandemic. I'm sorry.
No, this was prior to the pandemic. This is something that they just kind of had in the cuff. And the weird part is I have contacted some of those guys and in Gulfport, Mississippi, I actually went to some of the guys that they fired, and I just hired them. Like, you already know the job, the pay's gonna be different, so we put them to work.
Yeah, and you hiring people and giving out jobs too, so that's important to know too.
We are hiring right now. I got $100 a day for a helper and $150 a day for a driver, 7 days a week. If you need to come out of town, we will pay for the hotel.
And how long does these days consist of?
Right now it's a money grab, so it's until we get done.
As long as you can work, yeah.
7 days a week. Now, if you say it's not for everybody, it's not for everybody. But if you're trying to run your bag up, and get some cash, it is what it is. But it's a lot of people that's getting them PPPs and unemployment. They don't want to work, but it is what it is.
But it is an opportunity, man. That's what's up.
Do you employ felons?
First.
He said first. I employ them first.
No, I'm so serious because I understand the situation. So if I have to move some things around and I see that they have that potential, I'm gonna give them a shot because I understand the trials and tribulation that they're going through. Then if you can help build that person up, you never know what they might do. They may turn around and build somebody else up, and then the world is a better place.
Definitely. Yeah.
You have to reach back.
Okay,
that's amazing.
Now let's get to a couple questions about your backstory. You know what I'm saying? Like, usually we come up with questions, but with you, you know what I'm saying? Like, I follow you on social media, so I know, you know what I'm saying? Like, we didn't have to really come up with questions. You're well spoken. Tell us a little bit about your journey, your background, like how you ended up going to prison and how you started there and where you at now.
19, like I said, armed robbery. I was 19, stayed for 10. But while I was there, I tried to maximize the situation. I was just like, well, I'm never going to the NBA, so there's no need to keep playing basketball. I don't want to gamble. This is what I started doing. I started finding out that knowledge was going to be key. So when I stumbled upon that, I took all the trades that they had. I took barbering, auto body mechanic, computer, culinary arts, and then they tried to put me in the kitchen. And then when they tried to put me in the kitchen, I was just like, I'm not going to be washing dishes when I come home. So I would wait until 12 o'clock count, and then I would just fall out in the front of the door. I would like hold up all inmate movement. The goal was not to, really cause a scene. What I want you to understand is if you don't put me in the library, if you don't put me in trade school, then I'm going to slow down whatever it is that y'all got going on to you. Just put me in the library and then we can go somewhere. That's what the book said. So those events, I was able to join the book club. Then I was able to join the debate club, which was ran by Dr. Panetta over at UGA. And actually, Dr. Panetta and I are still like close friends. And debate just kind of it just changed my aspect on life totally, because I can go in and I can argue something, and this is just in life. I can go in and I can say I believe this and I'm right about this. But what he would do is he would challenge us, and let's just say we're arguing abortion. Mm-hmm. You can argue the affirmative, and you may believe everything that you say, but then he would come back and say, well, next week I want you to argue the negative, which means I have to challenge all of my thoughts. And when I'm able to challenge all my thoughts on that particular platform, it caused me to look at myself and to just question some of the things I was doing on a personal level. So it just allowed me, like now when people talk, in my mind, I'm like, I can think of 3 reasons why that's not true. So it allows me to be an individual and to move in a way where some people may say, oh yeah, Butler, he an asshole. But at the end of the day, I understand that you have to think that way, but I understand what my ultimate goal is, and I know how to get there, if that makes sense.
It does.
Yeah, but coming home, when I came home in 2006. I was 29.
So you did 10?
I did 10.
Okay.
I went back to school. I was like, I didn't learn enough. I need to go to somebody's school. So I went to Atlanta Tech. I got my associates in marketing, and they gave me a financial aid check. And I didn't even have to rob nobody. They just gave me a financial aid check.
Right. Which robbery was your first was your charge that you went
only charge. I've only been locked up one time in my life. I've never been back after that. Well, I have gone back, but it was because they paid me to go talk to some people. And that's another story. But when I got my financial aid check, man, I went and bought some moonwalks. The moonwalks turned into some ice cream trucks. And I wrote a book, and then I just kept moving. And
what's the name of the book?
Shouting. And it's actually it's on sale now. It's on Amazon and it's in some books. I did a lot of donating that book to like libraries. And
What is
it's
it called?
Shouting.
Shawty.
Yep, by Dain and Butler.
SHAWTY.
Already.
Wow.
Yeah. And with going to school, then I kind of got off into, well, what can I do to help people? So I started going out feeding the hungry and trying to do this. But then when I was feeding the hungry, I just realized, I was like, so I'm going out here. Hurt Park downtown is like one of the major places where you go on Trinity Avenue or whatnot. So we go down here, we feed the hungry, we take pictures. It makes us feel good. But then I started just talking to people, and I was just like, well, this girl, she been raped since she was 7 years old. I don't know if she need a bologna sandwich. She got like some other issues. And then I talked to a dude I actually went to high school with. I'm like, this dude need to increase his interpersonal skills, or he just needs some clothes. So I was just like, I don't want to feed the hungry no more because I don't really think that it's helping them. And then like this is, I'm like, bro, I need $5. And you're like, yeah, I'm gonna give you $5. And then you whip your camera out like I'm giving Butler $5. And then I think that's what takes place when we go down. It feels good, but I'm like, how am I really helping you? So I got with some mentors, and they were just like, well, if you really want to help, you have to get something that's recognized by the state. So at the time, it was domestic violence, anger management, and substance abuse. I was like, well, I'm angry sometimes. So I went back to school and I got my certification in anger management. Then I started We Manage Anger. So now I have clients coming from DeKalb County, Fulton County, Henry County, trying to get
on that point of managing anger. Like, how do you really manage anger? You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people go to anger management, and you know what I'm saying. I think it's more like just something that you just happen to do, but
a choice.
But I feel like you got a real assessment on how to on actually how to do that. So.
Yeah, there's actually a real simple formula. Knowledge and exposure reduce anger. If you think about a person who does not know how to tie their shoes, or let's just say something simple like baseball, they don't understand the rules of baseball. They understand the rules of basketball, and you put this superstar on the baseball field, but he or she does not understand the rules. Until they understand the rules, then they're going to have a misunderstanding. Until a person learns how to tie their shoe, it's going to frustrate them. But once you understand the process and you begin to do it, then it works out. It reduces your anger. So like with my clients, the more that they're exposed to something, the more they read, the more they travel, the less likely they are to act out. Those people who go to college are less likely to go to prison. I'm not saying that going to college stop you from going to prison. What I'm saying is that when you expose yourself to a certain understanding, you make more logical decisions. Thus, Katrina, who just bust the windows out her baby daddy car, you paid for this car. And you mad because he's a human. This is what humans do. So let's explore that. Then position yourself in a place where you don't, because when you call me from the jail, it's too late. It's nothing I can do. You're already in jail. So let's work on let's increase our emotional intelligence so we can make more effective decisions.
Yeah.
Yes, I love it.
I mean, that people could save relationships if they could take
Amen.
take it. Right?
Amen.
You know what I'm saying?
Thanks.
So you said that you didn't want to touch on it then, but definitely it sounds like you do a lot of motivational speaking and a lot of mentorship. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I was doing it a lot more years ago when I used to work for a lot of nonprofits. I worked for Defects at some point in time, but I kind of got swayed away because, okay, so if I work with a grant in Clayton County. We had a $2.5 million grant, and it was set up for kids who had misdemeanors. And if I could keep that kid placed for 9 months, 90 days, I'm sorry, then I can get their records expunged. This means that if I get them a job, if I get them placed in, if they go back to school. But what I started seeing was that if the paperwork is not completed, you do not get paid. And so I got bills and I got daughters, and they don't like bologna sandwiches. So if it come down to me completing some paperwork or you actually getting what you're getting, what I'm being honest is that I'm going to complete the paperwork, whether the work has been done or not. So what I said to myself as a man, I'll never put myself in a situation where I'm just as guilty as the person who is wrongly accusing you of something. If I'm in your face and I'm being paid to help you and I can't help you, I need to get out of your face and let somebody else come along and do the job the right way, because it's so hypocritical. So now I do things I do on my own way. I'm still affiliated with a lot of people I still work with the Cap County and Fulton County, but for the most part, my whole thing is if you don't have no money in your pocket, I don't know how you paying your bills. I don't know how you're living your dream if you don't have money coming in. Because you sit here posting on Facebook and lying about what you got going on. Look, here go a 9 to 5. I'm gonna get you a job, and then when you get on this job, let's see what you got going on. Maybe I can introduce you to somebody that can help you start this landscaping service or whatever. If you want to cut a demo and rap, if that's what it is that God laid in your heart, by all means do that. But get some money, generate, pay your mama bill or do something before you start begging and all this stuff. So now my mentorship is more along the lines of let me help you put some money in your pocket, and then let's see how you see the world after you reduce some of this stress, because bills are stressful. Yeah,
and that's a pretty honest assessment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you're very intelligent.
I have 2 GEDs.
Very articulate.
Yeah, and you know what? I work in a nonprofit world in my regular 9 to 5, so I understand what you mean about the paperwork and grants, and the level of like some funders can micromanage you, and they expect a lot of you, and you might be doing the work, but then you got a stack of papers this high that you have to fill out and report on. But anyway, you on your social media you shared about a little bit about your struggles with parenting from behind bars, and just how you had to work to earn the title of dad from your daughter.
That is so true. With my 24-year-old, when I came home, the first thing she did was, mind you, she was 9 when I came home. So she called me by my name, and I was just like, that didn't feel right. But then I was just like, well, I had a lot of guilt on me. I'm just being honest. If we are doing that, so I was just like, well, I'm gonna work my way through this. I talked to some other fathers that I know, and I was just like, well, nobody has really been on this journey, and they ain't gonna do it the way that I'm gonna do it. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna earn it. I'm gonna put in the thought prevention hours. My daughter cheered at Columbia High School football, basketball. So I was the only father that I'm here every time. Every time we have a meeting, I'm here. Every time, every game, I'm here. I'm just putting in the hour. You can't go back and make up that time. But what I can do from this day forward, I can give you 110% effort. And the irony of that is that I got a guy who called me a couple of weeks ago. They're starting up a program in the federal prison system where they want to start helping, if there's a such thing, helping those people who are incarcerated interact with their children while they are still incarcerated. And so I'm just waiting to see what the paperwork, because I'm interested to see what it looks like. I'm not sure how effective it will be, but if I can play a role in it, then I will.
That's amazing. It's like you had to move some mountains, some like personal mountains, to build that relationship, and like you made a choice and you did it intentionally to be there for your kids. And I think that is a lot more than we could say about a lot of men who never go to prison a day in their lifetime. So I mean, not to just congratulate you for doing what you already know you're supposed to be doing anyway, not even that, but just what you had to overcome, and just
So let me ask you, Dain, when you see this stuff, like especially a lot of stuff that's going on in Atlanta right now, like you see the mayor not going up for re-election, crime up in Atlanta, you see the government at least speaking of doing like of helping decriminalization, mass incarceration. What do you think of it? How do you assess it all?
I say that it's breaking up a little bit, but I hope you can hear me.
Yeah.
I think that these United States is a well-oiled machine. Everything that is happening is working the way that they want it to work. You do not reduce crime. You do not stop crime by being harder on crime. In the state of Georgia has one of the highest percentages of recidivism. Recidivism is the rate at which individuals return back to prison. They only expect you to stay out 18 months. Think about it like this. Think about the population of people who work for the jail
by
system.
design.
Yeah, if let's just say we do reduce crime, then where do these people work at? The first thing they build,
because crime produces capital.
It's just that simple. It's just that simple. So all the stuff about this is what's going on in the news. It's been going on and it's working. In my mind, I'm like, what are you guys aiming towards? Because there's an intricate plot. I'm not sure what it is because when you look at the news, they don't really give us the real what's going on. They tell us stuff that will hopefully control the masses. In my personal opinion, I could be very wrong.
They shoot triggers.
It's a situation where if you want to reduce crime, the first thing that you have to do is alter the education system. Because if you teach people a certain aspect of life, they won't break the law. If we utilize trades and we utilize some of our the people in the community, you have people who are business owners, then we're in Atlanta. Like it could be so many programs set up within our school system that will help us. People are graduating from school going to Waffle House. And this is what we're supposed to. Somebody got to work at Waffle House, though. Somebody got to work at Burger King. You see what I'm saying? So if you change anything that's going on, you alter that. Alter that. So you don't really want to change it because it alters the feng shui of things.
And you bring me to my next question because I'm a firm believer in everything happens for a reason and hindsight is always 20/20. So do you believe that you experienced that so you could be a mentor and guide so many people? And if you could go over and do it all over again, would you do the same thing? Because that's what made you to the entrepreneur and the articulate man and the humble man and the father that you are today.
In a quotable, I would say I want to go through all the struggles I went but no, not for real. I don't want to go back.
Nobody wants to go back.
It wasn't bad in school. Like I had good grades. Like I was like most outspoken in high school. I played football, basketball, and baseball. So it wasn't a bad situation with me. It was just like you get to a certain age and you stop asking people, and then you start listening to all this music. And I'm not saying it had a big influence, but it had some type of impact on me. Now, in reference to me interacting with people, I don't want to lead a whole lot of people. I don't want to be the spokesperson because anybody who is truly effective with altering or changing the mindset of people, guess what they do to them? They kill them. Yeah. Anybody who has ever done anything, they have killed them. Even if you take a thug and he started doing some positive stuff, guess what happened? I'm gonna say this: they'll get a sex charge and they'll be on Instagram like T.I. and they'll have because anything that you do that does not coincide with what their plot is, in my personal opinion, they'll deal with you.
Well, I'm curious about this real quick. I'm just taking it back a little bit to your history. What made you say, "Oh, I'm about to go rob so and so, whoever you were, where did you rob a establishment, a business, a person, or what was it? I mean, and what brought you to that point? Was it poverty? Was it just trying to make some money? Like, what was it?
I think it was a lack of understanding, and I was arrested for robbing an entity, but it started with individuals. And in my mind, I was just like, I robbed the guy one time, and he had a expired Marta card and a 50-cent piece in his pocket. I was just like, this robbing shit sucks. This is retarded.
Oh wow.
So it's just like with hunger, my confidence built up. And then when you give a young teen a firearm, he believes that he has power that he really does not have. And he'll try to accomplish things that are way beyond his means of understanding. So at that particular time, I was just like, I think I got this robbing shit down to a science. Excuse my language. I got it down to a science. So this is what I'm gonna do. And then anybody who thinks that they know everything about everything, it's just a matter of time before they self-destruct.
You know what? On that side, I have always believed that a young person, most young people, their first crime is going to be a robbery because it doesn't take, you know what I'm saying? It don't take that much skill.
It doesn't take that. I tried to sell drugs, and this is what I did. True story. I bought a 50 piece. Now I was supposed to cut 120 off of it. When they started asking for credit, and they was talking about we'll do this, I was like, this is not what I signed up for. I watched the movie. This is not how the movie went. This is I tried to take the drugs back to the person I bought it from, and he bought them back from me, but then he shouted me $10. I was like, no, I'm not. I'm not a drug dealer. He gave me $40 for a 50 piece.
Hey man, you ain't lying. Yeah, and it's really how it happens. I hope that young people actually hear this and you know what I'm saying and learn from it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah. Okay, so we had someone hit us up in the Lofty 100 DM for you, Danon. They said, "Dear Lofty and Danon, I did 5 years in prison, and my baby mama said she was going to hold me down. But word on the celly is she's smashing my homeboy. What should I do?"
Is he still locked up?
Yes.
Push up, shout and read a book. Let it go. Okay, so let me say this from a serious aspect. I'm not sure if an individual who is incarcerated can have a relationship with somebody who is not incarcerated. It's just weird to put those kind of expectations on the person. I don't think it's realistic. We got people who live in the same house with each other, and some people not doing what they're supposed to do. So how you behind walls, and then you're not the same person? Like, I'm not the same person I was yesterday, so I'm constantly growing. I'm constantly evolving. You knew me 5 years ago. We're not even the same people, and she's supposed to put herself on hold. I just don't think it's a realistic perception of a relationship. That's not what it's like. Fatherhood, a relationship takes physical and emotional, and it takes a whole lot of different elements to make it work. You can't. I'm not saying you can't do it behind walls. But if you look at the statistics, 9 times out of 10, somebody who's sticking with somebody in jail is no disrespect to nobody, but it's a fat girl or it's a girl who she's not real sought out after on the street. I'm just being honest.
Hey, you know what? And you know what? On that note, even I think when people leave prison, what is like the class that they take when they leave in prison?
I
forgot what it's called.
I know what you're talking about, but I don't remember the name.
I forgot what it's called, but from what I hear, they give you like different scenarios of things that may happen. Like, hey, if you in a relationship, you know what I'm saying, and you broke and you get out of prison and you going, you know what I'm saying, your girl like start to get frustrated, like, man, you ain't got nothing on the bills. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are things that may make you go back to prison. You'll end up in a domestic violence situation.
Thanks.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh wow.
Yeah, the high recidivism rate. Like They don't, whatever they prepping you for is to come back. They saving space for you. They got space for you. They not really I took those classes. I still didn't parole out. I took all those classes. I taught some of those classes. Then I was a teacher. Hey, excuse my language. That shit does not work. If it worked, then you would see the equation of that. And it wouldn't be so many people going back. It wouldn't be so many people still committing high profile crimes. You would see a change. When people tell me about certain things, I don't listen to what they say. I look at what is produced. Right. So if you're telling me that it helps, then let's look at the numbers. Where's our graduation rate? Where's our entrepreneurship at? Right.
Yeah, and that comes with that incarceration system of parole, probation, you know what I'm saying? Of, you know what I'm saying, like the extra stuff once you done did that time, which, you know what I'm saying? Like, people need to know that stuff.
Yeah. It's a well-oiled machine, man. The best thing I can tell you to do is stay at home. And if they say it's about the streets and hey, get on the sidewalk and walk that way.
And then on them classes, why do you feel like the classes won't work?
Because I'll tell you, at one point in time, I was at Alto and I seen a dude take all the class. I ain't gonna say his name because you might know him. He might be listening, but he went home. I didn't even know he went home because when I thought he went to the hole. When he came back, he just had a mouthful of gold teeth. And then I was just like, they giving out gold teeth in the hole. And he was like, no, he was like, I went home. I said, you went home and you came back? I'm so confused because I helped you get your GED. Right. I remember when you were studying for these classes. Right. The thing is that if you don't shift your paradigm, if you don't expose yourself to different things, if you go to the same trap that you got locked up in,
right,
none of that matters. None of that matters. You're gonna go out here, you're gonna get a job, you're gonna be a 9-to-5, and somebody who has dreams and aspirations, who doesn't understand how to get where they need to go, their 9-to-5 they might rob that place. So the system is working the way that they want the system to work.
Yeah.
I think that we have the ability to try to help those individuals, but they got to. The first step would be to just start reading, exposure, travel, go do something, talk to somebody. But doing what you've always done and looking for a different outcome is weird in layman's terms and in the Bible.
And it's insane. That's the definition.
Right.
Fact.
Hey man, look, we appreciate you. What you got working? What you got going on in 2021? We're going to come back and do a part 2 because
right, live in the flesh.
Right. Yeah, when you actually come in and say we got to do part 2.
Hopefully I'll be in the city, man. Sometime I ain't gonna even lie to you, bro. I got to get this money. But
right.
2021, man, I'm trying to set brothers up so where they can set brothers up, so they can set brothers up.
Right.
And if I can do that, then we'll be good. And then some of these brothers got some real good ideas, man. Because it's not all about I got an idea, let's go with this. I'm real simple with what I got going on. But if I could turn you on to something, you might turn me on to something. It's just like with my moonwalk service, I have people call me all the time. They just like, well, can you tell me about this? Listen, it's enough money out here for all of us. Let me show you what work. Let me show you what don't work. Because you might be able to show me what work. And then we can start another empire. So to answer your question without talking your head off, 2021, get the money, help somebody else get the money so they can help somebody else get the money.
Right. And then I think people need to know that because, you know, I get calls from people from prison. So I think we always want to know how to help them other than just, you know what I'm saying, putting money on their books. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And don't nobody bother you more than somebody that's locked up. Boy, they be having stuff for you to do. They got a for you. I'm probably in the right now, but
hey, you have a conversation with somebody, you'll tell them, yeah, man, I'm going through this. My grandma's sick. Okay.
Yeah, but I sent you a cash.
Somebody else out there.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so,
man.
We always want to know how to help those people, man. You know what I'm saying? Because they need help too.
Those are facts. Those are facts. And I encourage them to expose themselves to as much as possible so we can alter some things.
And we also want to know how can we get in contact with you? How can we get the ice cream truck, the moonwalk, the mentorship, and maybe if we want a day labor, how do we get in contact with
you? And the book.
You can reach me. Well, I'm Dain Butler, DAINHENBUTLER. You can Google me. Everything gonna come up. But it's Funtime Moonwalk Rentals. We got discounts for all baby daddies on child support. That is not real. And we with the trucking, I'm posting stuff right now in Spartanburg because this is where I'm at. But 678-891-9690, we will put you to work. Not your mama calling saying my baby want to work, but the actual individual.
678-891-9690. 9690. If you in the Spartanburg,
Mississippi, almost in Destin, Florida.
Mississippi. Destin.
Gulfport, Mississippi.
Gulfport. Oh, okay. Shout out to Black Beach. Black.
But yeah, all social media outlets is Dain Butler or Alto Shouty or Funtime Moonwalk Runners. But that number, that name, if you Google them, it'll come up.
Megan, you gonna do this the take us out shot? Man, we appreciate you for being on the show, man.
Yeah. Just I wish we had more time. I'm just like
right.
Because I've just been listening. It's just so awesome to get a chance to talk to you. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us, and we're looking forward to doing a part 2 with you. There's so many more questions I have up here. So thank you. And what we do is we get ready to take a shot right before we leave.
Okay.
And on the count of 3.
Wait, before we shout it out, let's shout out the sponsors: The Gatherers Group LLC, Willie B Spirits, Sticky Fingernails, Love is Black, PM Media and Marketing, Savage Life Radio, Jazzed Hair, Atherton West J Media, and shout out to Forever Fire.
Take us out, Megan.
Yes. So on the count of 3, we're gonna say Loft P. 1, 2, 3.
Loft P.
Loft P.